It was so crazy. When we went out on our first date, I didn't even know it was a date. She was just like, well, I would have worn something different for this date. And I was like, what? We're on a date?
Selena Gomez has been caught in a storm of drama lately.
So insane. When we first started going out on dates, she used to pull up to my house minimum 20 minutes early, maybe 30 minutes early. And she would wait outside, but she didn't realize that my cameras could see like down the street, and her car would just be parked outside for like 30 minutes. And she would just wait until it was time to come in.
Professional chaos mixing with personal heartbreak, and it's all unfolding like a soap opera everyone can't stop watching.
Last time I was single, I was 24 and the dating pool was everyone. And now it's like a shallow puddle of age-appropriate men.
No, I'm fine. I'm totally fine being single. It's a real thing. It's fine.
From whispers about her fiancé Benny Blanco's alleged shady moves.
And like, I guess he just thought people would like think that's funny because she was like nervous and like excited for the date. But people were like, what? Like, why are you saying that online? Because like, why are you trying to make Selena Gomez look desperate?
To a sudden unfollowing of longtime bestie Teresa Marie.
It just used to be so different. It used to be the men had to be gentlemen in order to get one girl's attention. And now it's like reversed. Now it's like, they're disrespectful and then they're just kind of there. It's crazy to me. We're not afraid to just be confident in who we are, and if a gentleman can't handle that, then that's not it.
To shocking financial struggles at her mental health startup.
The first red flag for Selena Gomez would have been that she's like dating this like multi-millionaire guy and she has to drive to his house to like pick him up, or like he's not coming to pick her up and like take her out, or at least like sending her a driver.
Wondermind. Selena's life seems to be unraveling in real time.
I'm sure the connection is
She's
very
doing charity. She's doing charity with me.
Right now, physically in New York?
With me.
Yeah, no, I know.
The rumored fallout with Teresa is raising even more eyebrows because people are convinced it might be tied to Benny Blanco himself.
Need I say more? You picking him up is crazy work.
Fans are buzzing with claims that Benny not only subscribed to Teresa's OnlyFans account.
First of all, the dress is 35 pounds, okay? She's carrying a 35-pound dress, and her heels are 8 inches high.
Yes.
And then she has to stand on a bus while we're moving because she can't sit down.
And what did you do?
Nothing. I look like a slob. What do you mean?
But was also spotted out at lunch with her, sitting way too close for comfort.
I'm actually so ugly and my features are like so grotesque that I like popped out the other side, and now I'm just like.
If true, this would sting even harder.
Every time I want to like Benny Blanco, he just reminds me that he's another man who's ready to embarrass his woman. What are we doing here? Who let these men know that they was the prize?
Considering Teresa has been by Selena's side since 2014.
Why is Benny Blanco acting like he's the prize? Like, all these like beautiful girls date someone who's just not in their league at all, and they hype up his ego so damn much.
A decade-long friendship that looked unbreakable.
One thing I don't get is that now that Justin has been crashing out, Benny's like, oh my gosh, all the people love me. And then you decide to embarrass your girlfriend.
Until now.
Will you be getting married in 2025?
Put an ingredient.
And if this fallout is confirmed,
do we move on to wedding planning now? Is that the...
No, I'm actually shooting season 5 of Only Murders right now. He has to do some work stuff too. So to be honest, I'm just enjoying us in this moment. And yeah, then we'll get to start the craziness.
Enjoying the engagement.
It marks the 3rd time Selena has had a public falling out with someone from her tight circle of friends.
I just looked at her and I said, oh, I gotta kiss this girl. and I kissed her right away. Her like heart started beating so quickly and she started getting a rash on her face. And she was so nervous because
I hadn't liked anyone in a very long time.
Sparking endless theories about betrayal, jealousy, and loyalty in her inner circle. Meanwhile, Selena's business life is crumbling just as much as her friendships. Wondermind, the mental health startup she co-founded with her mother, Mandy Teefee, has reportedly been bleeding money. It got so bad that Mandy herself admitted she had to take out a personal loan just to keep employees paid. the bombshell revelation has fans asking a brutal question. Why isn't Selena, who the internet often calls a billionaire, using her fortune to save the company? Forbes added fuel to the fire when they revealed that Selena isn't actually a billionaire at all, and that could explain why she's holding back financially. But it didn't stop the criticism. Many are calling her out for letting her own workers suffer while she keeps her glamorous lifestyle intact. And that's not all. The internet went into full detective mode when Selena quietly unfollowed Teresa Marie on Instagram, something she almost never does, given her low activity online. For years, Selena's inner circle has been a hot topic among fans, with constant speculation about who's loyal and who is secretly using her for clout and money. So when Teresa disappeared from Selena's following list, alarm bells rang instantly. The drama reportedly began back in late April, when Selena was spotted in LA at a private meetup with her closest friends, Ashley Cook, Courtney Lopez, and Raquel Stevens. But Teresa wasn't there. That absence told fans everything they needed to know, and the theories haven't stopped since. Now let's rewind a little. Remember Raquel during the My Mind and Me era? Everyone online swore she was some kind of villain in Selena's life, dragging her down, and TikTok had a field day painting her as the bad friend. Well, as usual, the internet had it all wrong, but that's a story for another time. What really matters here is that while Selena was out having this alleged secret meetup with her inner circle, she had already unfollowed Teresa, and that's what set the stage for the firestorm that followed. The whispers started with one shocking claim. Benny Blanco allegedly subscribed to Teresa's OnlyFans account. Then came the kicker. Footage surfaced of Benny and Teresa at lunch, sitting way too close for anyone's comfort. That's when Twitter went into overdrive, with viral tweets saying Selena unfollowed her best friend because her fiancé was paying to see Teresa online, yet Selena still chose to keep Benny around. That contradiction had fans furious, and the memes practically wrote themselves. It didn't take long before mainstream media outlets jumped on the train. Suddenly, headlines everywhere were framing the unfollow as a direct response to Benny and Teresa's too close for comfort relationship. To make things worse, receipts showed Teresa posting Benny R.'s People magazine cover, where he was crowned one of the sexiest men alive, on her Instagram story. That little gesture had people screaming betrayal, and soon enough the theory was spreading like wildfire. Hollywood has always thrived on cheating scandals, and this one had all the ingredients: betrayal, jealousy, and a superstar caught in the middle. But then Selena herself stepped in. Instead of directly addressing the drama, she tried to shift the narrative by posting a slideshow, complete with fresh photos of her and Benny looking cozy, and even a picture of her and Teresa. It was almost like she was saying, "Everything's fine, stop speculating." But here's the catch. Selena still hasn't refollowed Teresa and hasn't explained the unfollow. That silence speaks volumes, and fans are convinced the friendship is on ice, even if it's not a total fallout just yet. For context, Teresa wasn't just some casual friend. She started as Selena's assistant, and their bond grew so strong that they even lived together for a while. That history makes this whole saga even more painful to watch. Still, many believe the cheating theory spiraled more out of pure dislike for Benny than out of hard evidence. Critics accuse him of constantly embarrassing Selena, and some say he never matches the grace and charm she deserves. The most brutal theory? That Selena isn't really in love with him at all, and that she's just settling because of her past heartbreak with Justin Bieber. The rumors got even darker when fans pointed out that one of Selena's tracks with Benny allegedly used an AI voice clip that sounded eerily similar to Justin himself, a move people called insulting and disrespectful. And this brings us straight to Benny Blanco himself, the man at the center of this chaos. One thing is crystal clear. Benny cannot stop putting Selena in uncomfortable situations. Whether it's his eccentric personality or just his unfiltered mouth, the guy has no filter. His latest stunt? Publicly revealing that Selena used to show up at his house 30 minutes early for dates. A detail that had fans rolling their eyes, wondering why he always shares private stories that end up embarrassing her instead of protecting her image. Benny's latest oversharing moment had fans clutching their pearls. He said that when he and Selena first started dating, she was so obsessed with being on time that she would literally show up at his house 20, sometimes even 30 minutes early, and then just sit outside in her car waiting. Not once did she text him to say she had arrived early, and apparently there wasn't some inside joke between them. Benny admitted that the only way he even knew she was out there was because his cameras caught her. Now think about that for a second. Your new girlfriend waiting outside like that, hoping you'll notice? For many people, it screamed eagerness, maybe even desperation. Social media was quick to call it a bad look, especially for someone like Selena, who's always branded as confident, classy, and untouchable. Fans said it made her look like she needed the relationship to work, instead of playing it cool the way celebrities usually do. And then another question popped up. Why was Selena driving to Benny in the first place? Isn't she the one who's always preached about courtship, respect, and old-school romance? Instead, it sounded like Selena was the one making the moves, pulling up to his place, waiting around while he got ready. TikTok went wild with takes about how Benny was putting Selena in her masculine energy, flipping the script so that she was acting like the pursuer while he sat back comfortably in the role of the prize. But here's where it gets even stranger. Why didn't Benny just invite her in when he knew she was waiting outside? Most guys would text, "Hey, if you're early, just come in." Instead, he left her there like she was a fan waiting for a meet and greet. The optics were awful, and fans couldn't understand why Benny thought it was smart to share such a story publicly. It wasn't just awkward. It painted Selena as the one chasing him. And this isn't the first time Benny has casually revealed things that made Selena look like the one doing all the heavy lifting in their relationship. He's openly admitted that Selena was the one who asked him out. At the time, she thought it was a date, while he thought they were just hanging out. Selena even joked, "I would have worn something different if I knew this was a date." And Benny's clueless response was, "Wait, we're on a date? Talk about humiliating for a superstar like her." It didn't stop there. Benny also shared that Selena was the first to say, "I love you." He even turned it into a running theme for their relationship by titling their joint album, "I Said I Loved You First." What might have been cute in private ended up sounding like yet another example of Selena being the one to chase after him, while Benny sat back and let her take the lead. Fans are now questioning if Benny is doing this on purpose. Some think he is secretly bitter about the narrative that Selena is too good for him, so he tries to flip the script by exposing stories that show her as needy or desperate. Others argue that Benny has always been unfiltered, saying whatever comes to his mind without thinking of the fallout, and now Selena AS just caught in the crossfire of his big mouth. Either way, it's becoming harder to deny that every time Benny speaks, Selena's image takes another hit. The reason so many people highlight the awkward, even embarrassing parts of Selena and Benny's relationship goes deeper than it looks on the surface. Fans point out that Selena-esque supporters have dragged other women in the past, labeling them desperate or stalkerish. Yet now, we've got Benny himself admitting Selena was the one who chased and pursued him. The double standard is glaring. When it's anyone else, they're mocked. But when it's Selena, the narrative suddenly shifts into something romantic. That hypocrisy is exactly why the internet won't let this storyline go. As more details leak out, the picture people are painting of Selena is that of someone with an anxious attachment style. It's not necessarily toxic, but it does make her come across as clingy or overly eager to secure love. Benny has been vocal about how much he values her, going so far as to say he doesn't even understand how he landed someone like Selena. He constantly reminds people he's not in her league, even once calling their relationship charity, because, in his words, her being with him is like she's doing him a favor. Now here's where it gets messy. A little self-deprecating humor can be charming, but when it becomes your entire personality, it starts to feel heavy. Benny repeating, "I'm ugly, I don't deserve her. She's doing charity by being with me." That might be cute at first, but over time it sounds less like a joke and more like insecurity that's being broadcast to the world. And the real question becomes, does Selena enjoy this dynamic? Some say yes. Maybe she thrives with a man who has zero ego and constantly praises her. Others think it's exhausting to constantly have your partner worship you while tearing themselves down in the process. This dynamic has also fed into one of TikTok's most viral theories. When a woman gives a man who's subjectively less attractive a chance, he ends up acting like he's the prize instead. And in Benny's case, fans argue he's slowly leaning into that role, while Selena is left defending the relationship at every turn. Another big point of tension: marriage. Fans have noticed that every time the topic of a wedding comes up, Selena dodges. She blames her busy schedule, her projects, and her commitments, but the hesitation hasn't gone unnoticed. Meanwhile, Benny sits beside her looking stunned, almost like he's been blindsided in real time. One particularly awkward moment happened during an interview when the subject of wedding planning came up. Selena brushed it off, talking about how she didn't have time, and Benny's expression said it all, confused, disappointed, and trying not to show it too much on camera. This wasn't the only time Benny seemed caught off guard. On Hot Ones, when Selena was asked what she thought was his most underrated song, she blanked and nervously admitted, "I don't know what song you would have done. I'm sorry, babe." To be fair, she was battling the fiery hot wings. But still, the answer landed like a gut punch. Benny looked deflated as he asked, "So I just get no answer?" Forcing the host to let him ask another question just to ease the tension. Moments like these make people wonder if Selena and Benny are really in sync, or if their relationship is filled with little cracks that keep showing every time they are on camera together. And with wedding questions being dodged left and right, the speculation about whether they'll ever make it down the aisle is only getting louder. Despite all the speculation about whether or not they'll ever actually tie the knot, I, for one, do believe the wedding is still on. And not just because of fan theories. Ed Sheeran himself basically confirmed it when he was strapped up to a lie detector during his Vanity Fair interview and admitted that he'd been invited to Benny and Selena's wedding. That right there is proof from one of the most reliable insiders you could ask for. And Selena has even shared her own personal dream for the big day. She revealed that on her wedding day, she wants to dedicate her first dance not to Benny, but to her grandfather. She said, "I will have a special dance with my papa. He's never gotten a chance to walk my mom down the aisle. I want to give him that opportunity." That sweet confession all but confirms the wedding is still in motion, even if the internet is desperate to see cracks in their engagement. But then Benny couldn't help himself. He just had to keep spilling private details. He exposed Selena's nervous reaction to their very first kiss, saying she got so worked up that she actually broke out in a rash afterwards. He laughed, joking that she was probably grossed out by him because he is so disgusting and repulsive. There it was again, his trademark self-deprecating humor. Instead of making Selena look glowing and confident, Benny managed to frame their first kiss as awkward and almost embarrassing. Selena eventually clarified that her nerves came from liking him so much, and admitted that before him, she was stuck going on what she called diddy dates. Fake, surface-level outings, where she didn't feel a real spark. Still, the way Benny told the story had fans groaning like, why does he keep volunteering moments that make her look bad? In that same interview, Benny doubled down and even called Selena insane for showing up early to his house when they were first dating, once again painting her as the overly eager one. It's become a recurring theme. Benny exposes the private details, and Selena's image takes the hit. And while her love life has been the headline, the bombshell that's now shaking her empire is the news that her mental health company, Wondermind, is drowning in debt. For someone who's constantly labeled a billionaire online, the update was shocking. Reports revealed that Wondermind has already laid off about 60% of its staff, sending shockwaves through both fans and employees. The company, co-founded with her mother Mandy Teefey, was marketed as a platform to promote mental fitness through newsletters, podcasts, and interviews. But now, its very survival is in question. The cracks started to show when Mandy admitted she had to take out a loan on her own home just to keep the business afloat. Public records revealed Wondermind owed tens of thousands to freelancers, and at least $60,000 to a PR firm alone. Some outlets even reported that the debt may be much higher, hinting at six-figure losses that the brand has yet to fully own up to. When that news broke, fans were furious. The obvious question was, how can Selena co-own a company that fires staff and can pay its bills, yet still flaunt a billionaire label? And here's where the truth came out. Selena isn't a billionaire at all. Forbes stepped in to clarify, dropping an article that spelled it out. Net worth is not the same as cash in your bank account. Net worth is calculated by taking the total value of everything you own and subtracting what you owe. So, while Selena's net worth is estimated to be around $700 million, that doesn't mean she has hundreds of millions in liquid money ready to spend. For example, if your assets total $500,000 but you owe $200,000, your net worth is only $300,000, not cash in hand but tied up in property, business shares, or other investments. Selena's money is mostly tied up in projects, endorsements, and long-term investments. not liquid funds she can just funnel into a failing company. Still, perception is everything. And watching employees lose jobs while Selena remains silent on the financial drama has fans asking uncomfortable questions about her priorities. With Benny constantly oversharing and her company under fire, Selena's carefully built image of grace and control is facing some of the toughest challenges of her career. Let's be clear. Forbes wasn't dragging Selena when they clarified her finances. They still called her one of the richest celebrities in the world. But here is where fans got confused. Having a net worth of $700 million doesn't mean Selena has $700 million in cash just sitting in a bank account waiting to be used. Net worth measures everything you own: your houses, properties, cars, business stakes, and investments, minus whatever debts you might have. It's not a pile of money you can pull from like an ATM. To put it simply, if someone has a net worth of $500,000, that might look like $300,000 tied up in their house, $100,000 in retirement accounts, $80,000 in stocks or other investments, and maybe $20,000 liquid in their bank. The number looks huge on paper, but the reality is very different. The same logic applies to Selena. With her estimated $700 million net worth, sure, she can drop $35 million on a mansion, but that doesn't mean she has hundreds of millions in cash lying around for emergencies. Nobody is calling her poor, but people are learning that net worth doesn't equal instant access to massive piles of money. Selena's fans, however, weren't having it. They tried to drag Forbes by pointing out that she bought a $35 million home with Benny, as if that proved Forbes wrong. They even went so far as to claim Forbes was targeting Selena unfairly. Some fans even pushed the wild theory that Hailey Bieber's camp paid Forbes to smear Selena in the article. But that narrative fell apart quickly when people remembered Forbes' track record. The outlet famously embarrassed Kylie Jenner by revoking her billionaire title after accusing her and her family of exaggerating Kylie Cosmetics' revenue. They even ran a viral article titled "Inside Kylie Jenner's Web of Lies." So if anything, Forbes has proven they don't play favorites. They call it as they see it. And it's not just Forbes. Bloomberg had actually declared Selena a billionaire in 2024, estimating her worth at $1.3 billion. Selena's team even leaned into it, resharing the coverage on Instagram as if to quietly confirm it. Forbes later acknowledged Bloomberg's estimate, but explained the difference came down to how each outlet calculated Selena's ownership stake in Rare Beauty. Bloomberg may have valued it more aggressively, while Forbes took a more cautious approach. But here's where it all comes back to Wondermind. Forbes carefully pointed out that Selena's fortune is tied heavily to her 51% stake in Rare Beauty, arguably the crown jewel of her wealth. That's where the bulk of her net worth sits, not in spare cash. Which helps explain why Selena isn't eager to dump tens of millions into Wondermind, even as the company struggles to pay employees and freelancers. In other words, she's not liquid enough, or maybe not willing enough, to rescue the brand. Fans quickly came to her defense, insisting that Selena doesn't play an active role in the company's day-to-day finances and therefore shouldn't be blamed for its collapse. But critics argue that it doesn't really matter. Selena has built her entire brand around mental health advocacy, yet when her own mental health company is in shambles, she hasn't stepped in publicly to fix it. That silence speaks louder than anything, and it is starting to tarnish the very image she has spent years carefully building. At this point, it almost feels like mental health is being used as an accessory by Selena, something she can dangle whenever the spotlight gets too hot or when accountability starts closing in. If it was truly a passion and not just a piece of her public image, would her mental health company have collapsed so badly that 60% of its staff had to be fired? It's hard not to see the disconnect. Yes, Selena has been open about her struggles, and I do think she cares, but maybe not nearly as much as she's marketed herself to. Forbes even spoke to someone directly tied to Wondermind who dropped a bombshell claim. They allegedly had to fight with Selena's team just to get her to show up for anything, and she rarely ever engaged. The same source said Selena only visited the staff once in 3 years. Now, of course, a spokesperson for Wondermind immediately fired back, calling that absolutely not true. But still, just the fact that these accusations exist has cast another shadow over Selena's so-called passion project. And the silence from Selena herself only leaves fans questioning who to believe. Right now, there haven't been many updates about Wondermind's future. Some think the brand is quietly trying to recover behind the scenes, while others believe it's circling the drain. Either way, it is not a good look for someone who has built her image around being a mental health advocate. The cracks are starting to show, and fans are realizing that the perfect brand Selena has built might not be as solid as it seems. And while Selena is fighting to hold her empire together, we're also preparing to dive into another huge story, the ongoing smear campaign surrounding the Biebers. Trust me, you're going to want to see that one, because it's messy and explosive. So what do you think about everything we covered here? Did Benny really cross the line by subscribing to Teresa S. OnlyFans and oversharing their private relationship details? Is Selena letting her brand image outweigh her real passions when it comes to Wondermind? And are these scandals proof that she's losing her grip on her carefully controlled public image? Drop your thoughts below. I want to know what you think about Selena, Benny, Teresa, and Wondermind. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. This was one of the most requested stories, and we've got even more drama to cover soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.